Streaming. There you go. Okay. Then go to YouTube, make sure it's working. Are we live? 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 And we are live. It's goody team. Welcome to tonight's isolation session for November 24th, 2025. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Let me turn on these pairs real quick. EA, ECAD, the ones we're going to be going over are the ones you see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUD-USD, finishing off with US oil. We will be going in order from top to the bottom. Not really a lot to talk about today. I caught one little, something small, some light on EURUSD. I was up early last night. Hold on, let me copy and paste this link real quick. I was up late last night, so I ended up catching a trade. It's about 2:30, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., something like that. Took the trade, went to sleep, woke up, and I was like, alright, cool. Got on the video game. And we'll go over that once we get to it. It was a EURUSD trade. Pretty simple. Right, 3 days of rise drop on the third day, fourth day variation back to the top side, bounce off the 50. You know, we had so many confirmations here on EURUSD. It was just such a simple trade. So we'll go over it. Shouldn't be a long session today either, guys. It's holiday week for here in the United States, right? Thanksgiving on Thursday, so you know, all kids are pretty much out of school. People getting time off of work already starting this week. So I'm not expecting too much out of the markets. And we'll see that. There was a lot of pairs that are just consolidating. So on top of everything else, the last week of the month, we already know how the market reacts at this time of the month. So last week and first week, you're either gonna get crazy moves or you're gonna get price to just consolidate. And you already know what's gonna happen, right? If the second and the third week were moving like crazy, you already know that the fourth week, which is the last week of the month, is gonna be a little bit choppy. Just move a little bit, just a little sideways movement, right? But if Monday comes around, or I'm sorry, the first week comes around, markets are moving crazy, you know that the second or the third week is gonna be slow. So it's just keeping yourself aware at all times what's happening in the market and when. And that'll help you figure out the future, what's going to happen when you start trading in those conditions. Right? So since we already knew that the markets were going to be a little bit slow this week, we knew we could just take a little chill, look at how price is reacting. Is it moving sideways? Is it trending? And just keep it simple. Trading is all about, once you understand your rules and once you understand what's going on, the best thing you could do is keep it simple. Don't force any trades. You already know what's going to happen. You already know a zone of consolidation, an area where the market makers are trapping traders. Why are you still trading zones of consolidation? Keep it simple. Wait for the break. Wait for the inducements. Then get into the trade. Don't try to trade in the middle of it. It doesn't make any sense. So we'll go through that today. Again, you guys will see that. Give everybody another minute to join. We'll start at 6:55. Since we turned on the stream a little bit earlier. But I just want to give everybody a chance to join. For the people that watch the recording, as always, if you guys want to leave a question in the comment section or hit me up on Discord or Twitter, feel free to do so. For the people watching live as well, if you guys have any questions, feel free, type in the chat, let me know. And we'll go through everything. If not, again, we'll go through this in order. If there's no questions, I'm going to just do this at my pace. You know, get my charts updated, and then, you know, get ready for tomorrow morning. Alright, so let's get started. So AU, daily time frame. The bigger picture, what are we doing? Downtrending. Price gave us the first push, the first zone where price is moving sideways. The second push, the second zone where price is moving sideways. And then we have the start of the last and final push, level 3, where price gave us the break below the zone of consolidation, right? Gave us the break. When we're looking at market structure, what is price doing? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Then price moves sideways, right? So we were trending lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then price started moving sideways. Then price gave us a lower low, right? Price never broke these highs, price never broke these lows. Price was just moving sideways in the middle of the trend. Then price gave us the lower low. It broke these lows, perfect. So now we know that we're looking for price to give us a lower high point. So our first point of interest as to where this lower high was going to be set was here around the 800 EMA. My second point of interest, which is where I'm expecting price to really go, is where we have this 30-minute gap at the top of the market. So once price gets to our point of interest and we're at a lower high, the next question should be, well, okay, if you're at a lower high, you're at a point of interest, when are you looking to start taking those trades? Great question. You know you're in a lower high point, and you know that the market has set a lower high point once we start seeing price on the internal time frames, on the lower time frames, once we start seeing them downtrend, right? Because right now, if we go down to the 4-hour time frame and we look at the lower time frames, the internal moves of what's happening, what is price really doing? Higher high, higher low, higher high, and we're still sitting in a higher low point. So this already gives me an indication like, okay, in order for me to take a strong sell position, what do I want to start seeing? I want to start seeing price go from higher high, higher low, higher high, down to make lower lows, lower highs. And that's when I'll start looking to take the trade. So everything that's going on the top of the market, I'm just letting price do what it has to do. I'm letting it fake out the traders it has to fake out. But right now, I'm not interested in what's happening on the lower time frame. I'm more interested on the higher time frame. Because once we catch these lower high points, and the reason I say that is because let's say you take a short position somewhere in these areas. What has price done already previously? Goes back up. Goes back up. Every time we were at these lows, what did price do? Goes back up. We were at these lows last week. What happened? Price went up. Alright, we went a little bit lower, but we understand why, and we'll go through that on the lower time frame. But we could see that also is the same reasoning on the higher time frame. Once you start going into more details, depends what type of trader you are, what you look for. Right? If you're a type of trader that's looking for shoulder head shoulder patterns, which is a downtrend pattern, you're already looking for these short positions to happen. If you go down to the lower time frame, same thing. You have a shoulder head shoulder, and you would already be looking for these entries. However, for my rules and how I trade and how I've backtested shoulder head shoulders are only valid. They start becoming valid once price gives you the break below the first shoulder. And what did price do here? It gave us the inducement. It's just testing. It hasn't given us a valid break just yet. And what did price do? It came down into our 4-hour lows, that tapped the lows, and you start going into the lower time frames and you start seeing how price is making lower lows and lower highs back to higher highs and higher lows. So on the 30-minute, we're still lower low, lower high, lower low, right? So lower low, lower high, lower low. We see the trend. You go down into the 5-minute or the 1-minute time frame. After price gave us the inducement of the low, what do we see now? Price gave us lower low, lower high, right? Price was just moving sideways here. Gave us a lower low, lower high, lower low. Then this is where we started seeing the uptrend pushes. Gave us a double bottom, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? We started moving sideways, came down, gave us an inducement of the low, and came back up and gave us another higher high. So this is already giving us a little early indication like, okay, maybe this isn't a right area yet to start looking for these short positions. The reason that's important is because, again, once you go down into the 30-minute, what does the 30-minute look like price wants to do? 30-minute looks like price wants to continue the downtrend push, lower low, lower high, lower low. So just want to be careful with AU. Pretty much same examples I was giving yesterday. There's really nothing different. When we're looking at continuations too, we had 3 days of drop. Didn't give us that 4th day variation, right? That's just another indicator. Just a small indication. A heads up, if you will, that tells you price is most likely not going to continue these downtrend pushes. And just look at how many traders got trapped. If you were trading this during Asia and the beginning of Asia to the end of Asia going into London session, right? And you saw that at the end of London, prices gave you a huge push down to the bottom. How many traders you think got trapped trading the beginning of Asia, beginning of London going into NY, who were trapped into these short positions, thinking that price was going to continue lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, to continue back down into the lower low? And what did price do? Just hitting everybody's stop loss little by little. Right? So if you get trapped into what the internal time frames are doing and you're not really understanding why, this is the reason why you're still losing trades. And this is a really good example. Like, I wish Kendall was here, bro. I don't know where the fuck he's at, what he's doing. But this is a good... I know he's been watching the recordings, but I would like to say this when he's here, because I don't want him to feel like I'm picking on him. Even though I know he knows that I'm not picking on him. But is the trades that me and him went over, right, from yesterday and the end of last week, right? If you get too trapped into the lower time frames, or if you get trapped even on the higher time frame, sometimes a lot of people get trapped on the higher time frame, right? Sometimes all you have to do is go from one time frame to the other and put all the pieces together. Once you have all those pieces in one spot and you understand, okay, this is what's going on, it just makes trading so much more simple. And I'll give that example with EURUSD. So let's get to that. So again, I'm not going to take that much time for every single pair, because again, it's pretty simple. A lot of these pairs are doing the exact same thing. All of these charts are doing the exact same thing right now. Just consolidating, moving sideways. We're just waiting for price to give us a move. Once they move, we move. That's the easiest and the best way to trade, in my opinion. The best way, the train of thought, if once they move, we move. It can't be the opposite, right? It's not we move and then the market moves. No, because you have to wait for the confirmations. Once the market gives you the confirmation, then you take the trade. It's not the other way around. You can't take a trade without having the confirmations first. What's good, Kent? I was just talking about you. Right on time, too. Right? So once the market gives me the confirmations, once they give me the green light to take a trade, that's when I trade. It's a very simple game for me. Right? So AUD-CAD right now, where are we? On a downtrend. Level 1, first zone of consolidation, where price is moving sideways, just rejecting highs and rejecting lows. We rejected these lows previously. We came back to the top side. And once price reached the top side again, what is price doing? Moving sideways. Right, so right now there's really nothing on AUD-CAD for me. AUD-CAD is a pair that I am treating it just like the other ones that are also consolidating. I'm not trading them. I would rather wait for a pair that's trending. Or once we break out of the zones of consolidation, that's when I'll start looking to take the trade. But in a zone of consolidation, no way. I'm good. Well, you say, I was just going over AU, giving some examples, and it was like pretty much talking about like higher time frames, going from the higher time frames to the lower time frames, of like looking at market structure and all that. And gave the example of like getting scared on the lower time frame, or letting the lower time frames, or even the higher time frames, because it could happen on a higher time frame too, letting them trap you. Right, when sometimes all you really have to do is just go from one time frame to the other. Like once you feel like the 5 minute or the 1 minute is too much, go to the 15, go to the 30, and go over the rules again. Like, what are you looking for? Right, it's like the I could talk about this now since you're here, right? It's like the trade from EURUSD. Right, it's like, yes, we're looking, and I'll go to EURUSD now so I can give this example out. Right, it's like the moves that we're looking for, yes, they're on the 5 minute. Right, on the what I'm looking at, how the analogy I could give you, I use the 5 minute like, damn, what analogy could I give that makes sense? Because maybe that analogy I was about to use just makes sense in my head. But it's like, I'm using the, it's just, think of the 5 minute like, ah, damn, bro, this is such a bad analogy. You're starting up a dirt bike, right? You're filling up the dirt bike with gas. That's what I use the 5 minute for, right? So the 5 minute for me, the comfort, like what I was looking for on the 5 minute, just so you can see the train of thought, right? We know we made a higher low. So let's go back to the 30 minute real quick, and then so we could go into the 5 minutes. So on the 30 minute, once I saw that price at the end of the session, right, at the end of last week, we went down, right? We made these lows, which internally, once you go into the 5 minute time frame, right, or the 1 minute time frame, sorry, you see that it was lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then price started giving us higher highs and higher lows, right? So I was using the lower time frame to kind of gauge like, okay, if price wants to continue the lower lows and lower high points, we're going to see that happening on the 1 minute. We're going to continue to see price make lower lows and lower highs, right? Instead, what do we get? We had exhaustion candles. We had the 1 minute give us a change of character and a break of structure. Now, once price gave us the break of structure on the 1 minute time frame, I went back up to the 30. Why? Because this is where we're trending below the 800 EMA. Right? On top of that, on the 30 minute, I also noticed that all the EMAs are bunched up together. And we already know when EMAs are bunched up together, price is going to explode into one direction. Already knowing, okay, price is going to explode to one direction. What else do we see? Right? Previously, we have 3 days of rise. On the third day, gave us a rise drop, which was Friday. Could we expect a fourth day push back to the top side? Yes, that's one of the rules. Okay, cool. What else did I see on top of that? Once price gave us the break of structure on the 1 minute time frame, we also had the cross of the 50 above the 200 EMA, right? The blue line above the 200. That already was a clear indication that price was going to go up to the top side. So on the 1 minute time frame, let me draw a circle on this here. Right, so we could see this on the 1 minute. On the 1 minute time frame, yes, I had the fibs out. I had every tool that I may want to use to enter on the 1 minute. But I understood that, okay, instead of getting caught up, just think about all of this that's happening on the 1 minute. Instead of being caught up on the 1 minute time frame moves, right, and thinking that price, because once we made higher high, higher low, right, higher high, price never broke these highs. Price came down here. How many traders you think got so nervous? You're like, oh my god, it broke the structure from higher high. Where are we gonna go? When this was just an inducement. Or even the 1 minute traders who, you know, like what you were saying with the fib, like, oh, why didn't you just get in on right away on the 50? It's like, that's just not what we're looking for, right? Like the fib for me here, it wasn't something that I was really using, because again, what I was looking for was for price to bounce off the 50 EMA, because we're in level 3, right? In level 3, we're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. So where am I going to be expecting price to give me the pullback to? Which the circle. Just look at how precise my trading rules are. Again, when price gave us the break, I was looking for price to give me a pullback on the 50 EMA. I wasn't looking for just a 50% retracement. I wasn't looking for none of that. I was looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. We're in level 3. I'm looking for price to bounce off the 50. Right? And again, look how precise this was. And I had every single rule. The last red candle before the push, I highlighted it on the 1 minute. That entry was literally a fucking, let me draw, or let me delete the brushes here, so you guys can have a clear view as to where the actual entry, where if I place, you know, stop, whatever, buy orders and shit, that's the entry, right on the 50 EMA. We're talking about a greedy entry, right? We're talking about a less than a pip stop loss to get 41 pips. But all I was looking for, I didn't want to do all of that. I'm like, yo, I don't want to have to babysit the trade. I'm good. I'm getting the trade at the bounce off the 50 EMA on the 30 minute, right? My stop loss is going to be where? is going to be below the lows of the previous higher low that was created on the 1 minute, which was still good. A 5 pip stop loss with a 41 pip TP. I'm cool with that. Right? I'm cool with that. So that was all I was looking for. Like, it doesn't have to be so technical all the time. You know, again, like, if the 1 minute starts looking crazy, go to the 30 minute. What's happening? Right? And in this case, again, it was so simple. You're looking for a higher high, higher low, a higher low to be made on the 50 EMA. What else do you want to see? There's not much more that could happen. Right? So I hope that made sense. I've been putting together everything on the higher time frame. It's been the lower time frame for me when we got to the 5061 that US 30 trade you took really opened my eyes up. When EMAs are bunched up, price is gonna explode. Putting the pieces of the puzzle together. The 50 on the 30 minute, we know we already got the change carriers in the break on the 1 minute. We look for price to bounce out the 50 on the 30 minute. Yeah, of course. Because 30 minute time frame, where are we? Level 3. Daily time frame, sorry, where are we? We're in level 3. Market makers pattern, where are we? Level 3. What other EMA do you want to see price bounce off from? You know what I'm saying? Again, the 1 minute was just the foundation. The foundation that we want to see the change and the 1 minute break of structure. Once you get the change in the break, you already know the direction has shifted from a downtrend to an uptrend. Right? So once price gives you a higher high, what does price need to do? It has to give you a higher low. And if you know that a higher low has to be made, what other indications, right? You got to start asking yourself the question, like, okay, where could this higher low be? And one of our points of interest for a higher low, or for any pullback, is one of the EMAs. If you're in level 1 and level 3 is a 50 EMA. If you're in level 2, is a 200 EMA. Which is, again, you go back and you look at how I mark up my charts all the time. Right? You go look at a pair like AU. I'm sorry, it's not AU. It's that's gonna bother me. Give me EU. Sorry, I'm bugging. It's EU. EU and GU. Right? Why am I looking for the higher high, higher low? Why am I looking for the higher low? My first point of interest where I think the higher low is going to be. Why am I looking for this on the 200 EMA on EURUSD? Because we're in level 2. Level 2, we want to see price bounce off the 200 EMA. So it's just a point of interest. Right? Same thing with GU, but you can see GU is a little bit different. In GU, we were looking for a higher low to be made on the 200 EMA, which initially it did that. But we also have other indications below that 200 that tell me that price is going to go lower than that. Right? We have the 800 EMA. We have the daily engulfing here at the lows. So there's so many other indicators that could happen. And you just got to put the pieces together. Like, why is price going to be there? Clarification, when I'm getting lost in the lower time frame, go up to the higher time frame. And if we see price giving the higher high, or giving the higher low and bouncing off the 50 on the higher time frame, I can take it and use the lower time frame for stop loss. Exactly, yeah. So that's really all it is. So let's speed this up, guys. So we left off on EA, right? So EA, we know we're in level 3 on an uptrend, and right now what is price doing? Just moving sideways. So EA is another pair for me right now, unless I have a continuation, and again, a continuation is on the 4-hour time frame, you know, 2 weeks of rise. Hold on, did this finish on a no net for the week? It did. Which we won't have that. Or 2 months of rise, or 2 days of rise. That's the only thing that I'm taking, that 3rd day push. And previously, we made higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price just started moving sideways. So right now for me, EA is not on my list. I'm gonna wait for price to start trending again. Once we get out of the zone of consolidation, that's when I'll start trading again. Check your desk. I gave you an apple. Thank you, man. Right, ECAD, we went over this already. ECAD, I'm not am I gonna be looking for continuations on ECAD? Not right now. Right, technically speaking, we're still on a lower low, lower high point. Price gave us another lower high for today's move. So just want to be careful with ECAD. Above everything else too, we already had that 4th day variation. I'm not expecting price to continue a push, at least not for tomorrow. Again, could it do it? Absolutely. The market could do whatever it wants, but I'm not expecting it. I'm either expecting price to go down or I'm expecting price to move sideways. So we'll see how this looks tomorrow morning. Euro USD, we talked about this too just now, right? We're in level 2 on an uptrend, looking for a higher low point to be set. I don't trade against the trend, so I will not be looking for short positions. And we are still making lower low, lower high, lower low. Gave us a lower high point today. Inducement of those 30-minute highs. And then we finished the day off today on a little slight day of rise. Went up a little bit today. GA, price is moving sideways. Again, so this is another pair for me right now. I am not trading. We are in previous peak high territory. So that is another reason why I'm not really trading GA right now either. So we could just go ahead and update this. 2 days where price has been moving sideways. Gave us an inducement of the low. Starts pushing to the top side. I'll be waiting for a break above these highs. Once we get a break above the zone, I'll start looking to take these trades back up. And we still got this gap at the top of the market. I am expecting price to come up and fill it. So as soon as it gives me the indication that we're going to go up, that's when I'll take the trade. And right now, it's too early to take that trade for me. GCAD. We are in level 3 on an uptrend. We had 3 months of rise. On the 3rd month, gave us a rise drop, pushed. At the end of the month, right, it tanked down to the bottom, and we've been stuck in this little zone of consolidation, as we could see on the lower time frames. 2 weeks, last week and the week before, where price was moving sideways. So right now, that's what I'm pretty much waiting to see what price wants to do. I am wanting to see price break above these highs. We had 2 days of rise. On the 3rd day, which was today, gave us that 3rd day push. After 3 days of rise, expecting the market to move sideways or go down. We had a gap in the market. Gaps in the market, they reset the trend. So technically speaking, this is just 1 day of rise. So could price continue? Absolutely. We broke above the 800 EMA, 50 and the 200 crossing above. Everything is looking good when it comes to price coming back up. So we'll see what price does. We still have a good amount of time before price goes back up to those highs. But we'll be patient with GCAD. GJ, still in a higher high, higher low hunt. Made higher high, higher low. Higher high, came down, gave us a higher low, and then price was moving sideways. Gave us the break, gave us the retest. It looks like price wants to continue the push to the top side. On the daily time frame, looking on the lower time frame, zooming in on the daily time frame, we can see we're trading at a higher high. 4-hour time frames, we have 2 weeks of rise. This week being the 3rd week, could we expect price to continue that push to the top side? It is something I want to see, and it's looking good. We're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Gave us a higher low on Friday, and then the market opened and it was just moving slowly, but it was moving, and it pushed up to the top side. So the one thing about this pair, I'm gonna keep it so real with you guys, I respect the fuck out of GJ. If it's not something that's crystal clear, and I'm talking crystal clear, where I have every single confirmation that I have written down on my notebook, if there's one rule that's missing, that's not being played out on GJ, I'm not trading it, especially not in the market conditions that we're currently in. GJ, I respect the hell out of. I respect GJ more than I respect US30. I'm gonna be honest. I respect GJ a lot more than I respect US30. And US30 is a huge pair. GU just moving sideways. We're in level 2. Same thing as EURUSD. There's really nothing to talk about there. NZD USD, same thing. We're just moving sideways. Nothing to really talk about here. Also, we're just sitting on a lower low on the daily time frame. So I'm not really trading NZD USD right now. US30 today just moved sideways, trapping every single trader known to mankind today. trapping every trader. We had a day of no net today. Again, price is just moving sideways. We're still trading between these highs here on the 30-minute time frame and these lows. If you were a trader going short, thinking that this was going to be a continuation down from Asia to London, man, you got in. Let's say you got in and you didn't have your TP set at these lows. You got swiped out so fast. And all the traders during NYC who thought they were going to continue to catch these shorts going lower, fuck, straight to stop loss, right back to the top. You had no chance. USD CAD is another pair that I'm not trading right now, so we could just update this. Price is also just moving sideways on the 30-minute time frame. USD ZAR, same thing as USD CAD. Not trading them right now. I am just going to keep them updated. Gold moving sideways. Right, today just flew up to the top side, gave us a change of character, has not given us a valid break just yet. But as soon as price gives me that 30-minute break, best believe we're in that. Best believe we're going to be in those trades. So going to be patient with gold. Sitting out for right now with gold. For now. But let gold give me a confirmation. Let's say it doesn't give us a clean break of these highs and starts making lower lows and lower highs on the 5-minute or 1-minute time frame, which it'll be a little bit. Gold is a fast pair. We could get away with the 1-minute. But we're still higher high, higher low, and higher high. So we'll just have to wait. This candle closes in 8 minutes. If it doesn't close as a green candle above the wick, then it's still a testing candle. We'll have to wait for another 30-minute candle to form. Smooth week, I'm cool with if we don't get any trades. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty slow week. I was saying that too. Remember, we got Thanksgiving on Thursday. Markets are gonna be closed. Plus everybody's out of school. Everybody's PTO'd. So there's a lot less volume in the markets, especially the USD pairs. And then US oil gave us that fourth month push to the lows, right? But we had 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, what are we expecting? Price either move sideways or go up, and we went up. So oil's looking good. Expect your gas prices to surge between $3.20 down to $2.70. That's pretty much it, guys. Any questions, let me know. Any other specific pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. If not, that's it for me for tonight, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning. If there's any trades in the morning for the NYC session, I'll turn the stream on. If not, I'll let you guys know in the Discord how it goes. Give everybody another minute. Great session. Thank you, Kendall. Thank you. No problem. But alright, guys. Again, for the ones watching the recording, make sure you guys message me if you have any questions. We'll be back tomorrow. Peace out.